guys, welcome to the 4th episode of GDF Diaries. Today I'm joined by someone very special, my own cousin Madeleine. Hi Madeleine, how are you?
Hello Jackie, I'm not too bad. I'll be okay, thank you.
Good. So before we start properly, could you introduce yourself, just tell us what you do, just so we get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm Madeleine, as Jackie said already. I'm a mother of 2, used to be 3. At the moment, I'm full-time mom, and I'm going to, at the moment I'm home because of my health problem, and which has been for a while now going on because of what I went through, so yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. This episode is really close to the heart for me because she's like my big sister, so we got our tissue this time. Don't have to stop or pause or anything.
Yeah.
So I feel like we should just get the ball going. Take your time. Don't feel like you need to rush. So would you be able to tell me about what you've been through? As in, obviously, I know there's a whole journey to it. So just take me through your story.
Okay. It started really when I met this guy, and that time I was like busy working, doing my thing, you know, in my 20s, and I met this guy. But I used to be that kind of person who was quite picky, so quite a few guys came around, and there wasn't
Hottie, okay.
my type in the other way I can say. They could be hottie, but not my type. Yeah, so, but I reached to that age where I start feeling that pressure of like everybody are looking at me, especially even my little cousin like Jackie. They start growing, so they start making me feel like a bit more mature. So I say, maybe
Start
it's
feeling
time.
old.
Yeah, I start feeling a bit old, and I start feeling that pressure, the eyes on me, that I need somebody. So there's that time I start also approaching like my 30s, you know, like my late 20s. So going to 30. So then I started thinking, yeah, maybe it's time to settle. But the type of guy I was looking for, I couldn't really like say that is the one. But I start feeling like maybe I'm a bit too much. And I need to compromise somehow for me to be able to settle. Then I met this guy, and I start to change like my personality a little bit, because I used to be picky and have specific,
but you
know, in a man. Then I start to feel maybe just that doesn't exist. So yeah, because I couldn't really find that personality. I was looking at a man. I'm not just saying physical wise, but also how to, you know, click. Somebody you click with, you understand? Then I met this guy. That time I start to feel that, all the eyes on me, my family, relatives, things like that. And also, so I said, okay, maybe it's time to, I met this guy. Then I said, maybe it's time to start giving people a chance. Let me just see, you know, their personality, you know, first. I should maybe forget about too much physical, you know, appearance, personality, then that's all. And this guy was that. So it wasn't really about just physical appearance. So I give him, you know, open the door to check if he could be the one. Yeah, you understand? Yeah. And even this time, I was that person also. I wasn't like somebody who can go for somebody who's no job. That guy didn't get a job. So to show that I was willing to compromise. So by my personality, somehow I believe, you have personality for a reason. So by I start compromising, then that's how I met this guy. Then we didn't stay together straight away. I tried to know him for 3 years. Okay. Yeah. Then
I mean, you took your time with it.
Yeah. Then I took my time to try to see how he is like as a person. Yeah. So then before moving in or having kids together, I introduced him to my family, and as soon as he was like behaving like in a way that, you know, some of the personality that I appreciate in a man.
I remember when you came to introduce him.
And so I came to introduce him. The family welcomed him, And I continued to do my job. He was living on his own. And then somehow I was having the issues, like housing issues. So somehow I step in again to say, okay, I took you in with no job. Then we stay a little bit. Then he got a job. I even helped him to, you know, do application form, stuff like that. Just to show that I wasn't really going just from guy who's got money. You understand? I was willing to help.
Someone,
So maybe they'll appreciate one day. Then he wasn't the way I should have done it as somebody, you know, who grew in a Christian family. He wasn't like in a good way, but once when I introduced it to my family, and I was like, I'm old enough, and I've been living in my own flat
for a long time,
for like since I was teenager, 18, 19 years old. Then you know, then I was struggling to stay one particular place because he had problem with issue with housing. Then I said, okay, I live here. I wasn't really ready to live here with somebody. You understand? And but another way again, I tried to compromise again that let me help him in this issue is need, even if it might not be good for my family might not be happy with it. Start thinking I'm living with a man who before marriage, stuff like that, which is
the usual basically.
Yeah. So we moved in. He started working, I started working, you know, just started doing our thing. And we started, you know, sharing like bills.
Okay.
And I said, okay, since you're moving, that was even his point. Oh, if you're moving, I can help you pay bills.
Obviously, that sounds good.
Yeah, which I was saying, yeah, it makes sense a bit somehow. Yeah, but since the house was in my name, that's when the other issue came later. So which we can go there later anyways. So then somehow, as soon as I introduced it to the family, I start to see change in behavior in him.
Okay.
Yeah. Where he start to do, because I used to be a bubbly person. You understand? I used to be somebody who like to be around people. And another time I just want to be my own corner. I want to have my privacy. You know, but I was a family person. And I have friends, even where I used to work in the chemist, we had a team like a family. Because we worked together for so long. So, but you know, I was in touch with my family, my friends, you know, then I start having issues. Slowly, like, if I talk to somebody, it's problem. Like, somebody you don't know, I know them. You understand, like a friend, I say, why are we talking to that person? And he's no good person, blah, 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 so things like that. Even my family members, when they're calling, I'm talking to them, they start looking, trying to check everything I'm saying with them. Then so anytime if they come like a big argument, then it will be like encouraging that that's not good, really. It's not good to be they're not treating you good. Understand? So a partner is supposed to be supportive that what's going on, and can't you try to work it out? Because on my side I will see that it's just putting more fire, that I shouldn't be close to people. And somehow I start to notice things start to get even bad. You understand? The house becoming more controlling in a way, like I used to be very I'm not used, but I'm still quite tidy person, a clean person, I'll say it the other way. And you tell me now when to clean, now when not to clean. Or say if you like, I like to clean whether people are coming or not. And I'll clean even more if people are coming. You understand? Then you tell me, why are you cleaning? Just leave things the way it is. I say, excuse me, I'm a clean person. I clean even for myself. And if people are coming, I do even extra cleaning. So that I couldn't just get it. You understand? So small things like that. Then things just start to change to a point that I start to see. Before I used to touch his phone. Then later he don't want me to touch his phone. And or you go through my phone when I don't know. You start blocking people numbers without even knowing. So I start to get frustrated. I start feeling more isolated slowly. That people used to call me, they're not calling me, and I don't understand why. And when I call people, even those who try to reach me, very few people in the family are still trying to reach me. But somehow, sometimes you pick up my phone without even me knowing how did he pick it up. You understand? Because sometimes I used to be like rushing to go to work. And I might end up forgetting my phone. So that way, so I think he used to get access to my phone that way.
Makes sense.
Blocking it, or if somebody called, somehow you just answer the phone anyhow. So people start to get that impression that I don't want to speak to them. So that confusion start to come in. You understand that I don't want to speak to whether my family or my friends then my friends or my family start to feel the same as well, that I don't want to be rich, I don't want, you know, to talk to them. So, which was somehow, I start to feel good about that. That
because he's
people,
isolated,
so I'm alone, but I was getting more frustrated that how come I can't get to people, and why people are treating me this way for no reason. So I started getting more frustrated, more isolated, more upset, and to the point it was that guy that like he can follow you even where you're going. He start wanting to know where I walk, things like that, and you will go and check, and you go and check with me, or I'll come and pick you up. So things like that, he start to want to know everything about me. But when I start to try to dig about him, he start to like, he's blocking, he start like becoming defensive, things like that, which I didn't understand. So it just start like the red flags start coming, showing slowly. With my family, I started disconnecting with them. The communication wasn't getting good anymore. My cousin, my uncles, my aunties, and I just didn't understand, and just started to feel things all over the place in a way that I didn't understand. So I started to become like a different person, but I started to have that anger. I just didn't understand why things are happening the way it's happening. So which I didn't understand that kind of behavior. So even when I start to have children, you know, somehow I start getting to that age that I need to have children. Even I was seeing those red flags, but somehow I was just feeling I just need a child. You know, so since, and the things were all over the place also with my family, you know, my friends still also was still trying to reach, but somehow I just...
Do you feel like you kind of just not gave up, but you felt like whatever happens
so I start to come to that,
you just wanted to get on
way of, I'm going to just live my life, let me just whatever happens. So then that's when I had my first son. And when I had it, my family didn't come as soon as they're supposed to see me. So not knowing some of them were trying to reach me, and not knowing he's the one who pick out the phone and behave like I don't want to see them. So, and he can see that frustration in me, that how come I give birth
my own family,
and nobody, the family that I know that we are, the way we are close, the way I grew up with them. How come nobody's coming? It's not like they are miles away. They are just here in London. How come nobody's coming to see me? I just give birth. You understand? So, and by him, it would just be like, it's okay, things like that. So he couldn't really see.
So he kind of looked like a hero. Because he was there.
He was there. So, and he was still trying to do like play, you know,
games.
Playing like he's a good person, good guy. Then more red flag. I was working full time. But after having my son, I tried to reduce to 25 hours, but I was still working like Monday to Friday. So I took my son to the
nursery.
No, nursery. That time nursery you have. I took the child. I look for child minder so I can do my 25 hours. I took my son to child minder, and I was even paying for it. He wasn't paying. So then he started, because I was dropping him, because I was working now shift, but late shift, like in the afternoon. Then he will pick him up. You understand? So I'll drop my son to the nanny. Then he will go and pick him up, because he used to finish like in mid of the day. Then I don't have to worry about going to pick up this. Then I used to finish be late. So as soon as we start that process of the nanny, and she was a good nanny, because I tried to search it, and they sent and checked everything. But every time we pick up the baby, you say, oh, this nanny is just leaving the baby outside all the time in the cold, taking the baby to the park. So you bring all kind of issues that nanny is doing that I wasn't happy with. And for some reason, I didn't go and ask the nanny. So I just changed. So I just think, he's the father of the child. So I'm sure what he's saying is not lying. So then I removed my son from the nanny. And I continue again with my shift, but then I asked one of my cousin to his wife, because she wasn't working that time. She also had small kids. Say, can you look after my son when I go at work? I said, yeah, sure. She used to love him as well. So I start to take him there again. I'll drop him. He'll pick him up. Same thing like we used to do with the child minder. So when that continue again, you say, oh, your cousin's wife is treating the baby not well. I don't like the way your cousin's wife is treating the baby. Every time I go and pick him up, he will pick, he will just, the baby is always in the pushchair. He don't even leave she don't even leave the baby to play around the house. Then I was wondering, not my cousin's house. It was just clear, and my cousin's wife used to like my babies, and they will even go to visit there. Sometimes they'll come and visit, and they'll bring presents, stuff like that. So I was like, oh, your cousin's wife is not even changing the baby nappy. You will stay in the nappy all until I come back. The nappy you left the baby with, and you'll be so socky. By the time I pick him up, the baby is just in the pushchair, not even moving around. So I started to get upset, and this was my cousin who was supporting me even more as well, because he used to live close to me. So I was like, even instead of me to talk to my cousin or my cousin's wife, I just get more angry again that these are the last people I really needed, you know, them to do this to me again. So that's when the idea of, okay, he started to bring the idea, I think you need to work weekend, and I can work Monday to Friday. I said, okay, it could be a good idea. You understand? So just to show
you slowly
how
start controlling your
you want to take full control. You know, every person I try to reach, you understand, how people I want to bring in my life. You understand? So, and it was working. To the point that I didn't even talk to my cousin to ask him that why did that happen? Your wife is treating my
son this way.
Son this way, or talk to my wife cousin, which I knew she was a nice person. So I just take him away and cut off. I didn't take him there again. Then one day, to the point, he used to come and pick me up sometime weekend. Sometime I would drive myself, but there's that time Saturday, you know, I used to work Central London, there's no parking. So I didn't have a choice but for him to drop me. So you come with the children. We'll go with the children, and you start to see that anger. Sometimes you're trying to control it when I'm around. So, but I didn't know why. I start to feel a bit anxious or be feeling funny that how does this guy behave with my kids when I'm not there? Because one day I came and see my son is got a wound here in the hip, on the hip here, and I only found out when I was bathing him. Then I asked him, how did you get the wound? He told me, oh, it's my father slapping me there. So when I was saying, how did you wound the child? Before I even I finished to ask, he started shouting, oh, why are you saying he was doing wrong things? And my son was so quiet boy, and he's very gentle.
He still is.
Until, as you see, as you know him. So back then he was even quiet and gentle. Things would be all over the place, and in the house, you will not even touch it. You understand? That's how well behaved he was. So I didn't understand what was that he really did, that he slapped him to the point he broke the skin. You understand? So it just bring an argument there. But that time I think I kicked him out. You understand? I was so upset. I said, how come you didn't tell me what happened? I found out until I started to bath him. You understand? So I think I kicked him. Then he begged, and then I opened the door again. So that's why I started to see, no, this is not the way. There's no way I'm going to torture myself, continue this relationship, continue to compromise.
So did you decide to tell him to go again, or what did you do?
So when I start to see it's going really bad the way I was expecting, it's not changing, and it's either his way or no way. Even I was compromising, I didn't see him compromising anything at all. He wants his way only. So that's when I started to give I told him, look, I'm tired, sorry, but it's time to move out. We got children together, you can see, come and see them. And that's when he start to, he moved out, you understand? And he still come to see the children like weekend. But I can see the behavior of my children changing. Yeah. To the point that when he moved out, but I still come and look after them. Then sometimes we're trying to work it out, but I still don't see much changing. But I can see, I can feel it that I really don't want to be in the relationship anymore. Understand? Then when he, one day I went to work, I think it was Sunday.
Take your time.
I left my children in the house. They were just fine. But that particular week, I took, Brandon used to have this cough. My son used to have this cough. Comes and go. But I would take him to the GP, they say there's nothing, to the point they start even giving me asthma sprays, and when I give to him, it just make it worse, so I stopped giving to him. So I just start praying for him and stuff like that. But one day I went, because he never went to nursery, and he started reception.
Okay,
yeah. Then I started to worry. This was like in November time. I said, since he's starting reception, he will be exposed more outside
to people,
and he hasn't been going out much. I only take them to the park, libraries, things like that since he's born. So I started to say, okay, maybe it's time for the GP used to text me this flu jab thing. Yeah, spray, nasal spray. That time he was like 4 going to 5. So I said, okay, since you've been having this cough, maybe it might help. And I don't want that cough that gets on and off, or reason I didn't really know. Maybe it's time for him to have the flu jab. So I took him to the GP. They give to him. So I took them. Then they give the flu jab to Brandon. Then the nurse asked, do you want the other one to have the middle one? Yeah, I wasn't really going for her.
Yeah, you
understand? Yeah, so only Brandon. Then they said, is she old enough to have it? And I said, oh yeah, because she was 2 years and a half then. And then I said, oh yeah, from 2 years they can have it. So she also got there. Then I said, okay. Then she also had. We go home, and throughout that week, the 17th, them on the 17th of November, and they were having feeling a little bit weak because they are very active children, especially my middle one. And but they are feeling a little bit weak that week since after the flu jab. Family had to call the store, so they said there's a phone call for you. So I went on the phone, and then to the phone. I wasn't really expecting anything. So I went, and then I heard it was my ex on the phone. I said, oh, it's me, Angel, because the children are not feeling well. You understand? So the children are not feeling well, if you can come home. So I said, okay, I'm coming. It's just 1 hour left to finish my shift. So, but when he said that, I didn't know it was really bad. Yeah, when he said they are not feeling well,
just
I thought
a
cough, or temperature, stuff like that. So then I went home, finished the shift, and go home. And my children normally come and to the door to say hello to me. Hello, I get excited. So I didn't see them coming to the door that day, except from the 1-year-old one who didn't have the flu jab. So I come, and I went back and just see them sitting in the living room on the sofa, my boy and my daughter. I said, what's going on? So they just he told me they just start complaining after eating breakfast. They start complaining bellyache. Then they start coughing. When I checked, they are coughing. They are complaining about bellyache, chest pain. They had a high temperature. That was I insisted to go to see the GP. So they give us appointment. Then I tell their father, even the kids are not getting better. Somehow they are not improving much as I thought they will. I given all the medication. The father was still going to work. And they said, even with him, I think he was trying to discourage you. Oh, don't go to the hospital. They will just leave you there, blah, blah, blah. So somehow I started to feel that as well. Yeah. But I wasn't giving up. Every day I was still trying to get the GP attention. So then finally I called him when I told the GP that, look, I can't bring them by myself because there are 2 kids. My oldest one can't even walk anymore. So, and I got 1-year-old also. So I can't come by myself. So the GP didn't give me another option. So I okay, somebody will come over to check the kids and stuff like that. So then I say, okay, since I'm by myself, I'll try to call the father to come back so he can help me to bring them. I say, okay, then they give me a shift, appointment in the afternoon. Then we took them there. We waited we took my son in the pushchair. He wasn't walking anymore. And we were carrying the other one, in the hand. So they are complaining and start crying. They couldn't read anymore. Then we waited out in the GP almost another 1 hour. And they sent. And it was just another delay. When GP saw them, then they said, oh, it's a chest infection. Take them to the hospital. So we started to take them to the hospital, call ambulance. We still had to drive them again. That time it was a traffic thing that we got. But we still managed to get to the hospital. And when we got there, they go checked, and they say, yeah, they got infection. They start asking questions. You've been outside, abroad? They say, no, your children are born here. I don't even take them anywhere because I've been, busy or working and, just around London. So Then they admitted them, both of them, since they said, yeah, it's chest pain. Then that's when things just start to get worse for me. In the hospital, they put them in one room because they were about to put them in separate room. And I said, oh, how are we going to monitor them? You know, there are 2 siblings, so they put them in the double room, one there and another one there. Then there's this one, Wednesday I took them. So Thursday, the child, my younger one, the middle one, started deteriorating. It started like, you know, the pain continued to get worse. Even the hospital, I told them, I've been giving this already for the past few days. The, you know, pain relief is not doing anything anymore. So somehow they said they started giving them antibiotics and pain relief still, which was helping, and the oxygen, stuff like that, because they started like struggling to breathe. Okay. Yeah, and then when I went home, because also the hospital are insisting, oh, we can't keep 2 parents here. Even there were 2 kids. You understand? The all 2 parents can't stay. Only one person has to stay. So when they were admitted, I went home with the youngest one, and then the next day I came back. The father stayed with them, and when I came there, the nurses or doctor were around, you know, taking their blood, checking their temperature. Then it was just that time that everything went quiet. You know, I came like around 1, like around 2 there, 2 or 3 p.m. My children start to really get weaker and weaker, especially my little one. Before even the father went, she vomited blood. You know, we told the nurse the child just vomit blood. She put it in the bowl. Said the doctor is coming, so she will go and type in the computer, and they check. And I thought, you know, I've never been in the hospital with somebody. I don't need to visit people, so I didn't know really how they function. So he said the doctor is coming, so we just take her word for it. Then she insisted that the father should take the other one, you know. Then I stayed with the kids. Then things just went quiet. My daughter vomited blood again. I told the nurse, and I was expecting the doctor to come soon. Yeah. You understand? But she wasn't leaving the room, to my surprise. So she would just go quickly to the computer. So I thought that's how they communicate. So my daughter started to get worse. My son also was getting quieter and quieter, but my daughter was getting asking for more attention. You understand? So to the point she started vomiting blood, you know, continuously. Blood is start coming out, you know, she started really struggling. She like, since she have everything, you know, they are taking blood, so she had those, you know, things on her. So she like feeling a prisoner to a point she want to pull them out. She was only 2 years old, you know, and the oxygen also in the nose. Not long time after vomiting blood, they were that 3-4 times. The doctor is still not coming, and blood is start coming out of the nose. You understand? To the point that I start, you know, talking to the nurse that my daughter, that blood is coming out. She would just come and say, check, or the doctor is coming, which I just didn't care. That my daughter is vomiting blood, and the blood not coming through the nose. Where is the doctor? You understand? And somehow I see a bit calm, but just I can see my baby is going step by step, and nobody's coming. And she would just go and type. So I thought really it's the doctor who is busy, who is not coming. That maybe she's doing her part a bit, but she's not also just rushing out, you know, like it's emergency. So to the point my baby continued to struggle and struggle and struggle, vomiting blood, and blood coming through the nose. Now it started coming, you know, continuous in the nose, to the point myself I will remove the oxygen. She even insists. I ask her if she can remove the oxygen. So it's helping her to breathe. So how is she gonna breathe? The blood is coming through the nose, so it's like the oxygen pushing, blowing in the air, and it's pushing the blood in. So she's even struggling more. So it was that to that level that I just
so much
didn't understand again. My child want to come out of that court, you know, and no doctor is coming. And to the point my baby's eyes start to roll up, you know, start changing to yellow. So all step of somebody dying. And somehow she came to me and I grabbed her, you know. I was even giving attention again to my boy, you understand, because the younger one is like, I can see she's dying. I never really see somebody dying, but this was step by step. So around 6-7 there, the blood was like all over the place, all over the cord. You know, even I had Teddy, she was put beside her, it was like full of blood and everything around her. So I just couldn't understand why doctor wasn't coming until after fighting, struggling, and just keep hoping somebody's gonna come. I was trying to check my boy as well, how he's doing at the same time. You know, I was just in there, and the nurse is like, she was more on the computer, which I just didn't understand. Then monitoring to see what is happening. Yeah, I was the nurse, like I was in the middle. So when I was trying to check my son, then I just hear, and I just hear the machine stop, you know, the heart rate machine went beep, 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 beep. I didn't know. That was the time my daughter just stopped breathing the first time. So she went into cardiac arrest. And that's when the nurse came and pressed the emergency button, which I didn't even know if that emergency button exists. You understand? I would have pressed even the first time she vomited blood, then she pressed it. Then a few doctors rushed in, about 2, 3, 4, but the blood was like all over the place. You know, they tried to bring her back. She came back, but then they tried to, because her face started to swallow, her mouth has swollen. You know, our body started like swallowing. The blood was everywhere. Then they bring her back. You know. And then they took her to intensive care, because all this happening, he was in pre-intensive care room. He wasn't really like deep in the UC, you know, in the IC, yeah. So then
at the time, did you obviously I know a lot was happening, but did you call your ex at the time? Did he
oh yeah, that's right. No, as soon as she collapsed, you understand, first time, somehow collapsed first. You understand, that fall down, because I just didn't believe it. That okay, you get this worse and nobody's coming. And then when I realized that I need to call him, you understand, I stand up, I got the energy to call him. I call him quickly. And I called one of my family members as well. That one of my children just collapsed. One of my children just stopped breathing. And I don't know what is happening, you know. And then he came, and when they took her to the intensive care, they didn't let me in straight away, because they said they wanted to put tube to start to help her breathe, because she couldn't breathe anymore. The blood was everywhere. So then they let me in when he came, you know, and we went in, and I can just see that it was too late. Even I was trying to pray, I was losing my hope, but I was still hoping it can't be worse, because my baby was just fine, you know, last week. You know, she was playing, and she didn't even sick for a week. So, but the doctor tried to treat her, and continued to pray that throughout that night. She comes and goes, she stopped breathing, she come back, she stopped breathing. She really fought for her life. I didn't even know what was happening to my son in the room, you understand? It's because I couldn't even go and check on him, and my eyes was this side. So we stayed in the IC, you know, and she continued to fight for her life to the point in around 5, 6. The doctor came to us and said, nothing we can do. Nothing we can do. And it was just nightmare. And around 6, 7, I announced her like dead. And I started to call I call one of my cousins, then my cousins start to call all my family members who start coming there. And things were just like a nightmare. And when my daughter passed, I couldn't even focus on her. My son was also critically ill. You know, he was in the coma. So, but they transferred him in the morning. So, and they had to go with him. So, imagine now she passed away. My baby's body stayed outside in the weather. I don't even understand. She just passed, and I had to. My other one is still fighting for her life, for his life. And we went to the hospital. He stayed in the coma like for 2, 3 days. Then, my baby's body was the other side. So, it was just too much for me. And
was your ex at the time, was he supportive?
My ex at the time, he was there. He was be supportive, but in a way that he sure is caring when people are around, but when there's no people there, he just behaving like nothing is happening. So
in front of people, who kind of acted like a supportive husband to you. But then when you're at home, it's kind of like you felt alone.
I feel alone, and nobody else was there, just me and him, you know, and the kids who didn't understand anything, my 1 year old, you understand? So, and luckily my son, you know, his health improved, but even everything, they say everything was destroyed in his body, all the organs. But it took him like 2-3 years for him to really like back to, you know, physical, be strong again. You know, doing everything, you know, just trying to be strong for him and, you know, the young one. So I tried to go back to work, but
it was too much.
It was too much. I worked for a few months, then I stopped again. And then when the first anniversary, because I was still like numb, and I was still like in denial that this is not happening, even if nothing is happening. So when he arrived to first anniversary, like since he passed in November, and that's why I start to feel like I can't take this anymore, because even everything that happened, I didn't feel I had that shoulder to cry on. I didn't see that person was coming around, are you okay? Or what happened? Even to ask me what happened. You understand? So I was doing everything myself, bathing my children, cooking, and just trying to be strong. But that November anniversary, it started to sink in that I've been looking around, I can't see my other child. And I just started to feel like I think I don't need to be here anymore. I just don't understand what's going on. Even I was trying to do the arrangement, you know, appointment with the hospital to check to understand, you know, what happened, you know, during that time of negligence, and even what went inside my children's body. So I was just like doing everything by myself, and it was just too much for me. Then I said, no, there's no way I'll live here anymore. I don't think I'll live anymore. It's time for me just to give up, because my baby can't go just like this, and I don't understand that it seems like nobody cares. You understand? Yeah, so it was just too much for me that November. And that's when also I told him to leave the house. Even when the child passed, he told me, oh, maybe I think it's the time to work things out. And I just didn't see it. They even kneel down, things like that. I just said, sorry, please, just leave me alone, And since I know he wasn't doing much, even when we buried, after the barrier, the place where the funeral was far away, the graveyard. So I wanted to go there, and I wasn't strong enough. So he has to drive me, and even to go there, I had to beg him, can you please take me to my baby's grave so I can just, you know, go and just feel the comfort, because I still couldn't take it. So, but he will be complaining. He's tired since he got back to work. So. Oh, that was just so much in a way that I just couldn't take it. But somehow, when I tried to kill myself, I look at my children, then I can tell, you know, they need me. And after I know also how, you know, the other half of them behave to them. Even it was in my head. I thought I didn't have really evidence. I know. You know, they were behaving different when he's around. They wasn't themselves. And I said, to the point after my son recovered, one day he told me, because I started to pray more. I wasn't going to church, but I was praying and fasting. God started to show me a lot of things, which I started to depend more on God. You know, to the point I started asking God why this happened. And by somehow I believe God started to push me in a way that I can't depend on anybody but Him. You understand? And I started to grow more in my faith.
Yeah, I actually remember when I was young, obviously, I remember some parts what you're talking about, but then I actually remembered from time to time that you wouldn't be around. But obviously, because I was young, I would just see it as, oh, she's not really around anymore. But obviously, you telling me now the reason and just like what you was going through, it's hard to hear, because obviously, as a child, you don't really think of what's probably going on, but you was going through a lot. And yeah, you're so strong, and well, I'm actually quite speechless, I'll be honest. But you're so strong. You're a good mother. You're an amazing mother. When I look at my niece and my nephew, and they're just so well behaved, they're just quiet, they just play, and you know, they're not troublesome kids. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
And
very easy.
they're
Even
very
my
easy.
son, even after everything gone through, it's gone back to normal. Again, it is quiet, sensitive person, caring person. And he loves people. And my cousin come around, you know, he like, I don't want to leave. And that's the kind of person I am. I love people, and I just don't know how I can live, without people, like the way the situation I was starting to be in. Yeah.
So what would you advise people that or have gone through? Obviously, you've gone through way more than some, but in terms of like domestic abuse relationships, what would you advise people if they're still going through it or have gone through it? What would you advise them? Red flags to look out for, stuff like that.
Yeah, what I would just say is, God put us. You have that personality for a reason. So, and somehow some personality we have is to protect you. You understand? So don't try to change yourself too much for a person. And when you start to see red flags, don't try to say, oh, it's just in my head, because that's how I used to think. You understand? If you try to investigate more, maybe things wouldn't get worse for me as it did in my case. You understand?
It's like your instinct,
so,
isn't it?
yeah, because as you see, if you listen, as I started before, there is the manipulation in a way that you don't even think is manipulation. This guy used to behave like he's not clever at all. So I used to think I'm the clever one. So and somehow I was feeling like there's no way it can manipulate me. So when you're going through it, you don't even feel that you are being manipulated. They manipulate things that just as some people say that there's some snakes that come in sheep clothing, to be honest, and you will not think that people can be that bad. You understand, when they're in front of you.
And you also said, because you said in the beginning that you was at that time that you felt not pressured, a bit pressured. So that's where you started feeling like, okay, I need to settle down.
And I was also doing it for people. So, but there's that time where you just do on your own time, and people love you, they'll stick by your side and they'll support you. So you don't have to feel pressured or to force yourself to do something, that you feel that this is not me. You understand? But you're trying to do it to try to please people, or people to accept you. So, and that's why it's good just to pay attention. And as you see, they try to push you away from people. So, but it's good when you start going through things like that. It's good to reach people and talk to people, so they can give you advice, because they know already that if you got people around you, they will give you advice that will help you, and that's why they bring that isolation technique. You understand? So I wish I could do more, to investigate more when I was seeing the red flags. And maybe things would have turned to be different way.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I know this was difficult, and I know that probably our family members will be very shocked to hear a lot of things that you said today. But I do feel like this kind of shows how left things can go when you don't know
very quick.
The person, who they really are and stuff. So I've got a little present which you requested anyway for you. But honestly, thank you so much for coming on the show. I think you're amazing. I think you're so strong and beautiful. Thank you guys for tuning in for the 4th episode. Obviously we'll be back next week. Is anything
I got little present for you. I think you can get for me in the corner there.
Ooh, this is what I like, guys. You guys are changing. Getting presents. Where?
Yeah, just in the corridor.
In the corridor?
Yeah. It's in the silver box, a bit further down. In the corridor further down, this way.
This way?
Yeah, the front door.
Oh.
Sorry. Yeah.
You're so cute. Guys.
So there's something small in there for you, and also for the cameraman, your team.
Oh.
Okay, so.
Jojo, look at you. You matter. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much for coming, guys, and for giving me this opportunity to hear my story. God bless you.
God bless you too. So we'll be back next month. Make sure to like, subscribe and comment down below. Thank you. Bye.